You folks out there who want to support your small local music shops and who want to support a small business, are you going to the small businesses or are you just buying a bunch of stuff on Sweetwater and Reverb? What's happening, party people? Welcome to Blues Lawyer Confessional. This is Jack.
This is Matt Esquire.
You and I have both been going to Guitar Center at the
Yep.
same time, but then also at different times for like 17 straight weeks, plus or minus. In some cases, twice in a week. And we learned a few things. And so let's talk about some of the things we've learned about Guitar Center, which a lot of folks out there will say, I only go to Guitar Center for, and that's it. Like, they only go there to get strings or a guitar strap or a stand. And it's not worthy of a place to go play a guitar or get a guitar. And that's your opinion. But we learned some things being at Guitar Center, Matt. We did. One thing that I think is really important to think about is you folks out there who want to support your small and struggling local music shops and who want to support a small business. Are you going to the small businesses or are you just buying a bunch of stuff on Sweetwater and Reverb? And you know what? Guitar Center supports local musicians. They have jobs there. Kids take lessons there. Adults take lessons there. People buy and sell guitars there. People hang out and talk about guitars there. There's even a community board. So Matt, my thesis is that Guitar Center can be and may very well be your local music store. Thoughts on that, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason it can't be. A lot of people talk trash on the internet. It's what the internet was invented for. Thank you, Al Gore. We have an entire one or at least two generations of keyboard warriors thanks to it. I've actually been very happy with Guitar Center, just the general all around vibe there. I do note that it depends on the Guitar Center you're at. Like you
There's
and
a
I, Jack.
widespread for sure.
Yeah, you and I, Jack, we have a really nice one by us, but it really is a big one. This was 20 years ago when I was living in New York, and there was the one at, I want to say, Atlantic Avenue Terminal in Brooklyn. That one was actually about the same size as ours is here in suburban Maryland. That was an urban one. I mean, it was living in the shadow of one of the flagship ones. I compare the one that we go to take our kids to the one that's now right by my current newest job, which frankly is a pretty crappy one.
The job or the Guitar Center?
The Guitar Center. The job is actually fantastic.
So you say crappy one, you describe, and that's just because of the size of the shop and the things that they have inside?
Yeah, the guitar selection there is really non-existent. They have one smallish wall of guitars, and all of them are pretty much made in Mexico. Fenders, a lot of Epiphones.
So the question on that is, okay, so let's play pretend.
Right.
Let's say that wasn't Guitar Center, and that was called Music and Arts, because that's to me is what they all are. It's the same stuff, right? And
Right.
so I think if you look at it from that point of view, and also let's say you go online and you see, hey, there's this, I don't know, Kurt Cobain Jaguar guitar that you want to play or something, right?
Yeah.
And that's the store, and you don't want to go travel to Rockville. You can have it shipped from the one store to the other store to actually get to play it in real life. And that's another point where I think Guitar Centers are an important piece of our community, is that you have the opportunity to play the guitar before you buy it. And that's something that's really important, like, at least to me. I know Sweetwater does their checks, and they're great to work with, but you don't get that same, this is a special guitar feeling when you don't go to a store and touch the guitar. And the thing that's cool about Guitar Center is, generally speaking, they let you touch all the guitars, and it's just, hey, I'd like to play that one. And they're like, cool, I'll help you out. Even if it's behind a door or locked up in the platinum room. But no one's ever, again, it might be privilege, but they let you play what you want to play. You grab it and play. And that's maybe a downside as well. You know, a lot of the guitars get dinged up by the people trying them out. They don't necessarily get respected as well as they could because there's people. But it is really nice that you get to play a bunch of different guitars and see which ones make you go, and which other ones are make you like, oh man, I sure hate Telecasters because I played through 7 of them and they all stink. And that's special.
Okay, well, I mean, first of all, let's head off a flame war at the pass before we begin here, because I can feel it. I can just feel the comments saying, "Oh my god, how much is Guitar Center paying you guys to be putting
Oh,
up
I thought it
this
was about
kind
the
of content?"
Telecaster comment
No,
the
no.
Telecaster comment that they suck, but that's
Telecasters do suck, and I base that on the fact that I have yet to find one that I can tolerate the goddamn neck on.
if you have the switch down to the bridge position, it's blocking the volume knob. Who designed this thing?
Leo Fender designed it, and the thing is, I'm sure that a skilled guitar tech like you would have absolutely no problem doing the number one hack to a Telecaster, which is reversing
Well,
the control panel
I would
so that it
take
actually doesn't,
I would
do
probably have
that.
installed it backwards anyway. Other than our payments to Guitar Center for our kids to take lessons there,
Okay,
there's no payment exchanging hands.
exactly.
And I appreciate that Guitar Center lets you play the guitars. Other local music stores, and they're like, "Are you going to buy that?" You have to find a salesperson to maybe hold your hand and sit there with you while you play it. They don't have guitar cables sitting out. You don't get the same screw around fun that you get to have at Guitar Center or anywhere else.
Yeah, in their defense. And I'm not here to smack talk family businesses or small businesses or anything like that. They have rent, and they don't have a private equity firm, that owns them to back them up so that they can undercut. They do cost more at that one. When you walk into a guitar store, any guitar store, whether it's a chain like Guitar Center or a local one, if you do walk in a suit and tie, uh, they will be
I
on you
mean,
like flies on
they
shit.
see a blues lawyer coming from a mile away, I'm sure,
Exactly,
but you know
exactly.
what? I appreciate that the Guitar Center treats me the same way when I show up in gym shorts and a hoodie, and they
Yeah,
don't care. But
yeah.
I will say what you should do, pro tip from what I've learned, and if your store happens to have one or even two of these, I would highly recommend going into it. It's the platinum rooms. The platinum room, even if you don't play the guitars in the room, take that Squire Mustang into the platinum room, plug it in to the EVH 5150 or the um, Marshall Jubilee or whatever is set up in there, and close the door, turn it up, and you can play whatever you want and be left alone, and you don't have to hear the tuning song happening in the open area. And I think it'll be much better. There's better seating. You get that bowl of picks that are sitting there like an ashtray, and it's just a better experience. So if you're in there, find the platinum room, go in there. Sometimes the nicer guitars are unlocked if they're not asked to have them unlocked. Unlock the vault where you can grab the Nags guitar and have a delightful noodle. I wonder if the true test, again, if you're thinking about what it's going to sound like at your house or your studio or your practice or your show, if you don't use that same line 6 catalyst that they have in the middle, you're not really going to know what you're going to sound like. And to me, the EVH EL34 one is pretty close to what my stuff sounds like, and the things I played sounded great. You're going to find some gems out there, and I like the platinum room. Matt, tell me about your platinum room experiences so far, other than that
Um,
one wonky chair that they have that I don't
I
like.
okay. I hate the chair. I wish they'd just toss it. Don't sell it. Don't do anything. Just from a legal standpoint, it's a liability risk. Someone's gonna fall through it, and next thing you know, you got a lawsuit. That aside, that seriously, I actually did have a case involving black sheep. It was a case. The fact pattern was fat man in a little chair, and we actually had to do a full on lineup of chairs because this dude was like 300 pounds, and he was saying
Mm.
I try sitting in a X chair, and we're like, that chair was rated for 250 pounds, dude. Beyond that, though, platinum room is pretty nice. There's nothing better than either after work and you've got your kid there for lessons, or it's on the weekend and you've got your kid there for lessons. Your kid's going to be in there for 30 minutes or an hour, whatever you've got them signed up for. It's not enough time to go grab a Starbucks. Might as well sit here and play a nice guitar. And my experience has actually been absolutely fantastic. There's a gentleman there at our Guitar Center, and first time I met him, I was screwing around with. Actually, I think I may have been screwing around with a Kurt Cobain Jaguar. Now that you
Mm.
mention it, and I was just gonna. I plugged in some amp, and this guy comes on in and goes, wait. For this guitar, I think you're gonna want this amp, and he helped set me up.
That's
And
sweet.
I just, I had a good 20 minutes in there while my kid was with a really good instructor who I've come to kind of respect for just some of the way he's actually been with my kid.
That's good.
You know,
What was that amp that was recommended for the
it may have been the
Jaguar?
Soldano.
Well,
Oh,
that's nice. They plug that in for you. I really enjoy the Jerry Cantrell's signature Friedman that's always in there.
mm-hmm.
I really want to take that home one day. But I probably won't. And then also, honestly, like the Mesa lunch boxes, like I don't know where else I would try one of those out except for right in that room, because I'm not ordering one on Sweetwater to like demo and then send back for $1,000. That's not. So I think there's a lot of opportunities to play a lot of different things and see what things make you go, oh, ooh, this is nice. Like for example, Squire Sonic Series Mustang that I keep going back to for $150.
Are,
That's
are,
a player of a guitar, and I would never have considered ever thinking about touching that. It was happened to be sitting on a guitar stand. I grabbed it. And I'm like, oh, this feels like a guitar. I really like this. Another similar feeling with a PRS SE single cut. I think Marty Friedman signature model. I was like, wow, this is a guitar. I really like this guitar. And there's other guitars where like every Telecaster, I'm like, oh, this feels gross. I don't like this at all. There was a really nice PRS standard 22 that I played the other day, and I was like, I really like this guitar. So there's lots of different guitars I would never probably look at or think about that you can just grab and see like what makes you go, oh,
well,
this is a
yeah.
guitar.
I mean, I literally had kind of the reverse experience. Actually, last week, McCarty 594 SC, and I went to try that thing out, and it was hated first sight.
It didn't strike your fancy. It's
it
fine, and not
it
every guitar is for everyone. That's why you have to try it, right? Every online nerd is going to post comments like, "Oh, I love this guitar. It's the best guitar in the world." Like you don't know what that means. You know, a demo person will demo it, and you're like, "This is really great. I love all these things about it." But those aren't your hands. Those aren't your fingers. That's not your feelings.
Well, yeah, and I mean that's the thing. I'm never going to order a PRS off of Sweetwater because I just don't have the experience with them, and I'm not going to roll the dice like that. The ability to walk into a store, they've got a wall of guitars, and I'm like, you know what? Let me get rid of a prejudice or see if maybe I'm justified in this prejudice. Why don't I like, PRS guitars? Why won't I buy one? Well, let me sit here and try one. And that's the other thing is our our local store might not have a PRS in stock. I mean, I know that they've been doing blowouts, so it says Phil McKnight.
I know
Again,
another local store that will have all the PRSs.
does that one belong to Charles?
Charles, yeah, Chuck
Yeah.
Levins, yeah.
Yeah.
Chuck Levins is a great store. I love Chuck Levins, but
Chuck Levins was great.
I went through there, and you can't really like demo something unless you're really serious about it. You can grab it and like kind of sit there and acoustic noodle, but that's not the same juice. But I do love Chuck's. It's fantastic
I
compound.
I like Chuck's. I hate Chuck's parking. And
Chuck's parking
that's
is no
another
good.
thing.
It's not their fault, but yeah, parking sucks, and also the checkout's a little awkward. But other than that,
My job, I'm all over this goddamn state. Although honestly, I'll say most of the local guitar stores, yeah, one of their weak spots is the parking. They've got crap parking. It's not their fault, and I get that. I've yet to go to a guitar center that has crap parking because, yeah, there are big boxes. They are attached to malls, but being attached to a mall means you got good parking.
yeah, or the car wash next door. But yeah, no, I've been wanting to make this video for a long time because I've always enjoyed Guitar Center, and I feel like it's another brand that people get joy out of bashing because it's low hanging fruit, and it goes on the Gibson and PV train of getting harassed. And Guitar Center is okay. I have no problems. Never had a real bad experience there.
Last weekend, I mean, just a couple of days ago, the place was hopping.
It's
Uh,
packed.
it was jam packed, and so at least that little snapshot and shot in time, it really looked to be sort of a reversal of fortune from 2018 when they were circling the drain.
Yeah, I think with a couple things, the resurgence of kind of the high quality low price guitar market. Again, I noted the like Squire, Sonic, Mustang, and the whole Squire range is good quality, so you can get a low entry point, and then their capacity to get quality used instruments at a really good price. There's always something cool on the used wall that I like, playing there. So I think the future might be bright for Guitar Center. I'm not saying not that I would buy stock in whatever company owns that, but support your store, whether it's a Chuck Levins, Victor Litz, or even Guitar Center. It could be your local Guitar Center. You could put a little sticker on the wall that says "Join my band" at the community board. You can do all those things and more at your local Guitar Center store. So for Matt, this is Jack. This has been Blues Lawyer Confessional. Less fiddling,
More
more
playing.
playing.